Let's talk about consistency. Not in a you need more discipline kind of way, but quietly. We're going to explore why our best efforts so often fall apart, and how the answer might not be about trying harder, but about understanding ourselves a little differently.
You know this feeling, right? It's that constant, nagging struggle to stay on track. That voice in your head that just says, come on, just push through it. But what if that's the wrong way to think about it entirely? What if the problem isn't our lack of willpower, but the way we think about willpower in the first place?
And that right there brings us to the very heart of this whole thing, what we could call the willpower paradox. And once you see it, it can really change your entire relationship with getting things done.
Yeah, see, we have this tendency to see willpower as a character trait, a moral virtue. Either you have it or you don't. But what if it's not that at all? What if it's more like a phone battery? Every single decision you make, what to eat, what to say, resisting the urge to check your phone, it just drains that battery little by little all day long.
And well, this is pretty much what happens. After a whole day of draining that battery, our brain is just done. It defaults to the easiest possible option. It's not because we're lazy, it's just that our decision-making muscle is completely exhausted. Our brain basically becomes a potato.
And that realization leads us to this really profound shift in how we see things. The goal isn't to get better at fighting temptation. The real goal is to set up your life so you don't have to fight it in the first place. It's about making the battle completely unnecessary.
So, okay, how do we actually do that? How do we design this life where we don't have to resist all the time? Well, it starts by working with a fundamental truth about our own minds. We will always follow the path of least resistance.
You can really see the two different mindsets here. On one side, you've got this constant uphill battle, right? Fighting against your own instincts. And on the other, it's more like a gentle current, just guiding you where you want to go. It's the difference between fighting your own nature and just flowing with it.
And this isn't a flaw, It's not a moral failing. It's just biology. Our brains are designed to conserve energy. I mean, think about it. Why would you take the hard way when there's an easy way? Our brain applies that exact same logic to pretty much every habit and decision we make.
So this is where we can be really smart about it. Instead of using up all our willpower to avoid watching another episode, what if we just made the remote harder to find? If you want to read more, maybe just leave your phone in another room. By adding just a tiny bit of friction to the distraction, you naturally make the thing you want to do the easier choice.
And one of the most powerful ways to design for this kind of ease is to create rhythm. Because our brains don't just crave the easy path, they also find a deep sense of comfort in things that are predictable.
Just think about a professional athlete for a second. They don't wake up every morning and have a big debate with themselves about whether they feel like training. That decision was made a long time ago. It's their routine, the same time, the same place, the same warm-up, that does all the heavy lifting. It's not about feeling hyped up, it's about the rhythm. And these rhythms have a pretty simple but really powerful structure. There's a trigger, a time, and a place. It's just like your morning coffee, right? The smell of the coffee is the trigger. The time is right after you wake up. The place is your kitchen. You don't think about it, you don't debate it, you just do it. And that same idea can be applied to almost any habit you want to build.
And this is the real magic of building a rhythm. It just completely silences that little voice in your head that tries to negotiate and procrastinate. Have you ever noticed that? How much easier something is when it's just part of the routine? That's the power of a system that basically runs on its own. And it saves all that precious willpower for the moments you actually need it.
But this whole thing, it actually goes even deeper than just building better habits. It's really about building an identity. Because the things we do over and over again don't just change our behavior, they actually quietly begin to change who we believe we are. This quote it hits the nail on the head. We can fill our days with tasks and checklists and feel super busy. But what actually keeps us going for the long haul? It's that feeling of who we are becoming. That's the real engine behind true consistency. Every single action we take is kind of like casting a vote for the person we want to be. A single workout is one vote for I'm a healthy person. Writing one page is a vote for I'm a writer. One vote might not seem like much, but over time those votes add up, and eventually an identity starts to emerge. So you see, it's this quiet, slow evolution. What starts as a very conscious, maybe difficult action eventually becomes an automatic habit. And then, after enough repetition, that habit just becomes a part of you. You no longer just do the thing, you are the person who does that thing.
And this is really the beautiful endpoint of it all. To get to a place where making the right choice is actually the easy choice. Not because you're using a ton of willpower, but because it's just in complete alignment with who you see yourself to be. It's a pretty empowering thought, isn't it? That we have the power to shape not just our actions, but our very sense of self.
So, as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When you look at your own life, your own daily routines and systems, what are they, really? They're more than just a list of actions. They're the architects of your identity. So the real question isn't just, what do I want to do? It's, who am I through these actions becoming?